Hello, children. We begin with the next topic of chapter 18, that is water pollution. As we have seen the definition of air pollution, similarly, the water pollution means when the constituents or the composition of water changes and when there are some unwanted particles in the water, unwanted substances mixed in the water, which affect the quality of the water and which affects the color, gets makes the water smelly, and also affects the living and the non-living organisms. That is water pollution. And the substances, the harmful substances which pollute the water, they are called as water pollutant. So the harmful substances like sewage, that is the waste, liquid waste from the factories, toxic chemicals, poisonous chemicals, the silt, that is alluvial soil, etc., which get mixed with the water and makes the water polluted. Now, an activity here 5018.5, in which the tap water, pond water, river, well, and lake water, you have to check it for the smell, the acidity, and the color. Smell and the color can be identified easily. And for acidity, as you have learned about the pH paper, so if the pH is 7, it is neutral, and if it is less than 7, that means it is acidic. More than 7, that means it is basic. So that is the water analysis. Now, how does water get polluted? Now, again, as we saw about the case study in Taj Mahal, here there is a case study of Ganga. Now, let us take a closer look of this figure 18.7, in which is shown the course of river Ganga. That means the path through which river Ganga flows. Okay, so we can see that it arises, it begins, it starts from the Gomukh in the Himalayas, passing down through the Gangotri, Haridwar, Kanpur, Allahabad, Varanasi, Patna, moving towards the Bay of Bengal through Kolkata. Now you note that all the places through which Ganga passes, that is like almost all the places are first of all pilgrimage centers, then pilgrim centers, then that means holy places. Also, they are highly populated. So it certainly affects, or it shows that there are people living there, and the next to the Ganga, and the water is being used by so many people. Millions of people across the river Ganga, they are dependent on the river Ganga for their livelihood. However, recently a study by the WWF for Nature, that is Worldwide Fund for Nature, found that Ganga is one of the 10 most endangered rivers in the world. The pollution levels have been rising for many years. We have reached this stage because the towns and cities through which the river flows throw large quantities of garbage, untreated sewage, dead bodies, and many other harmful things directly into the river. In fact, the river is dead at many places where pollution levels are so high that aquatic life cannot survive. The Ganga Action Plan, which was launched in 1985, it aimed at to reduce the pollution levels in the river. Let us see an example. Ganga at Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh has one of the most polluted stretches in the river. You can see in the figure a polluted stretch of the river Ganga. You can see there are so many things at the shore of the river, which shows that it is so badly polluted. People can be seen bathing, washing clothes, defecating, that is excreting in the river, and throwing garbage, flowers, idols of gods, goddesses, non-biodegradable polythene bags into the river. So all these are a part of the waste which make the Ganga or any other river polluted. At Kanpur also the amount of water is comparatively slow and small, and the flow is slow. That means when the river flows, the flow is not very fast, it is slow. So the waste which is added into the river, that if it would have been a fast flowing river, the waste would have been carried. But since the water is also low or maybe small and the flow is slow, because of these two reasons, the waste is accumulated over there. Also, there are some 5,000 industries in Kanpur, including the fertilizer, detergent, leather, and paste industries, which give out or which discharge toxic chemical wastes into the river. So, based on this information, we can get a clear idea that it is because of the industrial development and the waste in the industrial from the industries that has polluted river Ganga. Now, also some factories like oil refineries, paper factories, then textile and sugar mills, chemical factories. These cause chemical contamination of water, and the chemicals like arsenic, lead, fluorides leads to toxicity in plants and animals. There are certain regulations taken by the government to prevent it, by the pollution board to prevent it. That is, the industries are supposed to actually treat the waste before produced before discharging it into the waters, but very few follow it. Also, there are pesticides and weedicides which are sprayed for the protection of the crops, and they mix into the water and they are washed into the water bodies from the fields. So the pesticides and weedicides, they dissolve in the water, washed into the water bodies from the fields. Not only this, they also seep into the ground. That means they percolate into the ground to pollute the groundwater also. And these nutrients or the excess of these pesticides and weedicides, of course they contain some nutrients and some chemicals, they act as nutrients for the algae to flourish, and then the growth of the algae in the water body increases. These algae, when they die, they serve as food for the decomposers like bacteria, and as a result of it, a lot of oxygen in the water body gets used up. This results in decrease in the oxygen level, which may kill the aquatic organisms. Also, sometimes untreated sewage is thrown directly into the rivers. It contains food waste, detergents, microorganisms. Also, there can be pathogens from the waste of the human beings entering into the water. They cause various infections. Okay. Sometimes from the factories, hot water is added into the water bodies, because of which the animals and the plants living in the water body is adversely affected. We have seen that water which is suitable for drinking is called as potable water, and in each house there are certain filters which are used for separating the impurities, for cleaning the water, making the water free from smell, and so on. So water which is safe for drinking is called as potable water, and there are various methods by which water can be made safe for drinking. First one, you can see in the book, it is marked. So first is filtered, that is filtration, a physical method of removing impurities, which is a common candle type household filter almost in all the houses, you can see. Second is using the method of boiling, which is safe, and boiling kills the germs which are present in water. Third is chlorination, that is adding chlorine tablets or bleaching powder to the water. Of course, there are limitations to the use of it, and certain proportion only which can be used. Now, what can be done so that we can reduce the water pollution? So laws for industrial units should be strictly implemented, that is followed, so that polluted water is not disposed of directly into the rivers and the lakes. Second is water treatment plant should be installed at all industrial areas. That means if there is waste which is given out, or water containing waste from the factories, then that should be treated and reused for some purposes. And for that, water treatment plants should be installed at our individual levels. That means at our own level, we should consciously save water and not waste it. Reduce, reuse, and recycle should be our mantra. We can think of creative ideas like reusing water used for washing and for other household tasks. For example, water used for washing vegetables may be used for water plants in the garden. Pollution is no longer a distant phenomenon. It is affecting the quality of our daily lives. Unless we all realize our responsibility and start using environment friendly processes, the very survival of our planet is in danger. We should see to it that we are not wasting water while brushing teeth. Leaving the tap running may waste several liters of water. A tap that drips once every second wastes a few thousand liters of water every year. So it depends totally on us how we should make use of the water and how we should save the water. Okay, so it's important that we, because of the human activities, we have added to the pollution of water and air, and it is we humans who have to see that it depends totally on us how we have to reduce this pollution.